So I just wanted to talk a little bit about building community and using English. So I have taught language arts, I've taught social studies, and I've taught languages, French and Spanish. So I used to do a lot of like community building in my block classes, my language arts and social studies classes, and then I just thought like, oh, well, we're making it all about the students and their interests in the language classes, and of course the language is so interesting, and so I don't really need to worry too much about like doing these community building activities. And then in one of my classes this year, an incident happened, and I had to take some time to process that with the students. And of course I can't really process it in French or Spanish, so I had to process it in English. So then today in that class we did just basically like a go around the circle and hold the talking object and talk. And I started thinking about just like building community and building relationships with the kids, and how we are expecting them to do that most of the time in the target language. I know I certainly do. Like I expect to be able to take what's on their card when we do like card talk at the beginning of the year, or take their suggestions or not in a story, or you know, we've got jobs, we have actors, like there's so much community being built. However, today when we were going around that circle and kids got to, like, I asked them questions like, what is your favorite thing to do on the weekend? And then what advice would you give to a 5th grader before they came to middle school? And then the last one I was kind of building up to, just after we kind of got comfortable with each other, was what's something scary that you've had to do that you did it anyway? And you know, some of the answers, even during the serious one about like what's been scary for you, some of the answers were, you know, silly, funny. It just like ran the gamut. Like some of them, you know, we applauded them because it was like they faced this fear, you know, and they told the story like really dramatically. Some of them were really silly. Some of them, you know, made us laugh. Some of them made us kind of gasp. I told a story about talking to somebody this past weekend who, like my heart was racing when I went to go talk to this person because we hadn't talked in a long time and we've had some conflict. So the kids like clapped for me, you know. I just think that during that time, the kids were able to show their personalities in their first language or their second. I mean, some of them, English is not their first language, but in their stronger language, like French or Spanish is not their stronger language at this point. And so like they don't have the same personality. They can't be known for who they are in the language. Now, like if they went to Spain or Mexico, they would have to develop that personality in their second language, and you know, they'd have to like make do. Like when I'm in another country or speaking to somebody who talks French or Spanish, I have to make do, you know, I have to like try to be witty and intelligent and you know, fun to talk to, even though my language skills aren't as good as in English. But I realized that we're like asking the students to come to class, and I've really just had like a big realization today about this. We're asking the students to come to class in these world language classes, and we're expecting them to basically check their personality at the door, and to only be known for things that get channeled through us. Now, I mean, that's great, that's fine, like we should keep doing that. Like I think about Grant Boulanger, he is amazing. Like his classes, and I'm sure his classes aren't amazing every day, but his classes will just make me almost cry because he's so good at like channeling the kids' ideas and like having this long extended discussion with the kids. And it's a beautiful thing, but it's still all coming through us. So I've really rethought, I used to be like really into like using the target language like all the time, as much as possible, 90% of the time, 95% of the time. I used to set timers and stuff and get, you know, really bent out of shape about it. But I've really rethought that because, and I think it's because I started teaching languages all day long, whereas I used to teach them 1 or 2 periods a day. And I just feel like the kids need a chance to speak to this group, to their peer group, to this particular mix of individuals, this particular class. In this class, they need to have a chance every once in a while to speak in their own authentic voice and be themselves, you know, be it deep or humorous or, you know, insouciant. You know, some of the kids just like, no matter what, they're answers are just silly. But that's their personality. Like, that's what they want to put out there in the world, and that's what they want to be known for. So my advice is to myself and to you is to cool it with the insistence that we only know each other in our class through speaking in the target language and having the teacher like channel that through. It's almost like you're translating for the kids, right? So if this kid likes football, I'm like, this kid likes football. Look, everybody, Bill likes football. But it's all coming from me, and like that kid isn't having a chance to connect with his peers or her peers in their own authentic idiom. So I just thought I'd put that out there. It was a great moment for me in that class when they all left and they were all smiling, because that class has had some challenges recently, and I realized that like in that particular mix of students, if I don't prioritize having them be able to know each other and get to appreciate each other, we are going to have a hard slog for the next 2 years in 7th grade and 8th grade French. So I just wanted to encourage teachers to kind of take time every once in a while, maybe there's a fly in here, maybe once a week or something like that, to spend a period or half a period. We had short periods today, so it was only like 25 minutes. It's an equity late start Wednesday. But just to take time to connect with the kids in, that fly goes, in L1. So thanks, bye.